I'm off of Navigate on Autopilot, and it's actually going to take this, because this is not a stop sign, this is actually a yield. This actually turned off of the highway for me and continues to go forward. What's up everybody, I'm Brian from I1 Tesla, and today I've got a cool video for you. I'm testing out Autopilot, or really Navigate on Autopilot, to see how it's gotten better over the last couple weeks. A lot more miles have been put on Navigate on Autopilot. With all these cars being into the whole neural network, everything's talking to that brain. I noticed the car getting better. I noticed it taking turns better, and there's a couple spots here I want to test out. We're heading south on 77 towards Charlotte from Mooresville, North Carolina, and there's a 77 to 485 split. Autopilot does it already, and we're going to put it on Navigate on Autopilot now, but Autopilot used to do that already, so that's not a major thing. But now it'll take the lane change by itself, no issues. You know, it's been doing that since day one of NOA. Is that what we abbreviate, NOA, instead of Anyway? There's a really cool off-ramp as we go to the supercharger that I really want to test it on. I'm actually going to, once we get closer to those interchanges, I'm actually going to use the steering wheel nipple to take the nags off the screen. I'm not going to put the bag on there. That's bad. You should not be doing that. I've had enough people in that video saying, what weight do I put this bag? What do I do? How can I get a bag like that? Or I got to get a bag like that. I've been doing that for a long time. You shouldn't do that. Even though I was paying attention, completely paying attention to what I was doing, probably paying more attention because I wasn't on my phone like half of these idiots on the road are on their phones while they're driving without Autopilot. It's against the law. You shouldn't do it. Not saying I got called by any police officers or anything, but shouldn't do it. All right, so in 1 mile, we're going to be it's going to take those exits for us. But I have my follow distance set to 2 car lengths, and from this point forward, I'm just going to use I'm not going to touch the wheel unless I have to take over. You see how well it does in the shades. There's a lot of shade coming across there from the trees over here. It took the lane pretty quickly, actually. It took it right away, and pretty fast, actually. I wouldn't have taken the lane that fast, but actually it was kind of abruptly taken. I almost had to take over because I wasn't expecting it to happen that fast.
Now take exit 19B on the right.
So now it knows that we should stay in this left lane.
Take exit 19A
because the bridge goes off that way.
485 north toward Matthews. Now take exit 19A on the left.
Thank you. So it should start slowing down here in a second as well. I think it slows down to 65 miles an hour. There it goes. It starts to slow down for this turn. So it does it pretty well, pretty confidently.
Left to take Interstate 485 north.
It'll stay 65 miles an hour until we get off of the exit here, and then it'll go back up to the 70 miles an hour once we get completely off the on-ramp. So we're getting really close here. I'm going to leave it at the 75 miles an hour. It should take this turn by itself. Right away it takes it. There's no hesitation. It knows it's there. Now it also knows that we're going to be turning right up here because I have the supercharger in the navigation. So it should change lanes again. That's actually pretty cool.
Now take exit 28.
It's starting to slow down. It just put the turn signal on again.
Now take the Mallard Creek Road west ramp on the right.
So now it's actually turning. I'm off of Navigate on Autopilot, and it's actually going to take this, because this is not a stop sign, this is actually a yield. this actually turned off of the highway for me and continues to go forward. See if it'll change over into this lane. This is actually pretty crazy how it was able to transition to the off-ramp, and then since there was no light, it was just a yield onto merging traffic. It took everything by itself. That's actually pretty wild. I'm actually going to turn around and then we're going to go back on the highway the same way and see if there's any change to that. We're on Navigate on Autopilot as we get on back onto 485. That the car thought that car was actually coming over into our lane and actually slowed down ahead of time before the car actually did that. That was impressive. That was very good defensive driving by this car. That's really cool. So now we're at 0.6 miles. We're turning off of, we're getting on this highway this is the interchange to get onto 77 going north back up to Mooresville. So I'm going to transition to just using the steering wheel nipple again.
In 1,000 feet, take exit 23B on the right onto Interstate 77 north towards Statesville.
It's interesting that it didn't get into that lane.
Now take exit 23B on the right.
Oh, it didn't take it. It wouldn't take it. So I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with how it was able to actually take that off-ramp. Not the interchange, not the first one. The interchange, I've seen that done before with regular autopilot. You just have to put the turn signal on to get over into that lane. That wasn't that impressive to me, but to get off of that exit, that exit is actually an inverted diamond, so you kind of cross lanes and stuff. You don't have a typical intersection. To turn right, it is just a yield, which is really cool that this car was able to actually just do that without coming to a stop, because there's no stop sign. You're not coming to a complete stop. You're able to just continue driving, and then you yield right into the other traffic. I should have had this camera up here so you could have saw, but there was no cars back there, so I didn't have to have that up. By the way, did you know that you can actually swipe this up and then you can swipe it back down to get rid of the camera? You don't have to hit the X, so you don't have to put more fingerprints up here. Same thing with the music. You can keep swiping it. Anyway, little tangent. But the car was able to do all that stuff without hesitation, really. It put the turn signal on and went right away. On the way back here, it had trouble with the exit getting onto where it split off there. It didn't get in. I think if it would have moved itself into that the right lane, it would have been just fine, because it would have just followed that lane. But there was a split and it got confused on that. That's something that will come with time, I think. I can't wait till all this is standard on all cars, maybe 15-20 years from now, because there's gonna be so many less accidents. For a lot of cars to have the safety features of that's gonna be huge. That's gonna save lives. I'm so happy that we're part of the early adopters to be part of this process and be part of this group and helping to test this out, so it's safer for everyone down the road, safer for our kids and our grandkids down the road. That's cool. That's a really cool part. That's almost worth the price of admission into a Tesla. If you're in the market for a Model S, Model X, or Model 3, any Tesla right now that you can buy, use my referral code. The link is down below. Here's the reason why. I'm actually close to 2. I'm actually really close to 2 Roadsters, and that would help out tremendously, because the first Roadster is going to cost me about $60,000 to $70,000 in taxes. That's a lot of money, because it's a gift, and it's a gift tax, and it bumps you up the next tax bracket, all that crap. The second Roadster would actually help pay for the first one. I really want to keep this car. I want to keep Bob and the Roadster if possible. but I probably won't be able to do that if I have to pay the full amount in tax, because that is a lot of money. If I can get close to a second one, we're actually really close to 90 referrals right now, and you need 105 to get 2 Roadsters. We have till December 10th. As close as I can get to a second one, if I have to pay a little bit to get that second one, and it makes sense to use the one money to pay taxes on both, I'm definitely going to do that for sure. So if you can help me out and get as close as I can to that. I've been pushing other people's codes out, and it probably hurt me a little bit, but it's me giving back to the community. Now I got to take a little bit back because we're really close to the 2, and that would be tremendous. So I can continue to push out all the great content and be able to do that much more once I get the Roadster. Because if I'm strapped with a payment, it's harder to do stuff. So as always, stay positive, stay awesome, and enjoy your Teslas out there. I'll catch you on the next one.